Hello everyone! A heads up before we begin. Today we're gonna discuss some of the cutscenes and information, which apparently doesn't become available on live until next week. If you want to experience it all for yourself and you don't want to be spoiled, then please turn off the video right now. For those sticking around, we've been quite busy adventuring through the Shadowlands. We picked our covenant, we conquered Castle Nafria, while not forgetting the original mission that brought us into the afterlife to begin with, saving our missing leaders. That's where it all began after all, in the maw where no one ever escapes. Define those rules with the use of a waystone, a relic of the mysterious First Ones that responded to us for some reason, but only to us.
Death comes for the soul of your world. All that you see, all that you know, will be undone. Jaina, something's wrong. It seems the Waystone has stopped charging.
The stone responds to you, champion. Try to activate it while we hold off the Jailer's army.
Nothing escapes the law. Yield to the inevitable.
They've stopped their advance. The light is with me, even here. Go, champion! Go!
Interesting.
You have failed.
No. I have precisely what I need.
We were forced to leave them behind, but we eventually did return for them. Bane, Jaina and Thrall, they have witnessed horrors within the tower, but they have been saved. Only King Anduin Rin remains in the clutches of the Jailer.
All that matters is we now possess the necessary instrument. We must begin its preparation.
Leave him to me. You've seen what he is capable of when he believes in the cause. A measure of patience may yield superior results.
Very well. We have our weapon. Now, we shall hone it.
They needed someone, something for their plans, and it's Anduin that has caught their attention. Some are wondering if that has to do with his mastery over the light, or perhaps if it's the strong will that he has that comes with it, considering that we don't even know exactly what it is that Sylvanas and the Jailer want to accomplish. It is hard to say what it is about Anduin that drew their attention. Then the next cutscene, that is titled No More Lies. In the dark depths of the maw, Sylvanas Windrunner offers Anduin Rin a dark deal.
I do hope you've settled in. The accommodations are a bit sparse, I know.
Where are the others? Are they safe?
Safe? No. I wouldn't say any of them are safe.
I am so tired of your games.
As you wish. No more secrets. No more lies. You are a weapon we will use to achieve our ends.
I will not become an instrument of death.
So you favor life? Is that it? That momentary flicker Every cruel second spent delaying the inevitable in an endless war that you, like every Rin before you, will not survive. You know the truth. Nothing is fair. Not life, not death. So we're going to tear it all down.
And what purpose would that serve? Everyone suffers, Sylvanas. But destroying everything will not take away the pain.
Oh, you misunderstand. We're breaking a system that has always been flawed and remaking it into one that is just.
Do you expect me to believe that all this time, you've been fighting for justice?
How can I convince you? From our first breath to our last, every decision is made for us. Then, the afterlife decides what eternity we must endure. We can't even choose who we couldn't control anything. But through the jailer, control of our fate will at last be possible.
Look around you! At what and who you've joined. What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
You have a choice to consider. Join us willingly, or be made to serve.
I thought you believed in free will, Sylvanas.
We've never had free will, little lion. But that is about to change.
Windrunner believes that there is no such thing as a choice. Their lives are predetermined, and the cruelest joke of all is to then be judged upon their actions in life by the Arbiter. Sent off to a domain within the Shadowlands that you have earned, be it Bastion for living your life in sacrifice to others, or a Revendreth to pay for your sins. The Maw is there for those irredeemable souls. This is the place where Sylvanas ended up after she took her vengeance upon Arthas, decided to kill herself by throwing herself from the top of Icecrown. Eternal torment for a life, for deeds which she had no control. It's an interesting take, and who knows, she might even be right. Maybe those mysterious first ones that shaped the cosmos, they did set out a course, a plan for the mortal souls. Life's a show, and we all play our part, until inevitably the flicker of life is snuffed out. That could be a thing, but it could also be nonsense. A lie told by the jailer, or a justification by Sylvanas herself. When you're discussing right or wrong, heroes and villains, characters in a story, part of the equation, it comes from the choices that one makes along the way, as long as those choices are available. For example, when Sylvanas held the line against Arthas and the Scourge, she ultimately lost the battle and her life. Arthas wouldn't just let her move on though. Instead, he ripped her soul from the afterlife and turned her into a banshee. At that point, she had no choice. She had no control. She was a slave to Arthas, a slave to the Lich King's will, until she was not. Until the Lich King was weakened and she was able to regain control. That's when she made the decision to claim vengeance for what Arthas has done to her. You could argue that being turned into undead, it alters you, it changes you, that is definitely true. But at the same time, it is still those choices that were made. With the Forsaken at her side, she did whatever it took to claim vengeance upon Arthas, and not all of it was pretty and nice. She had a choice there. She could have also decided to take a different route, use different methods, perhaps focus her attention on other things than Arthas. But she decided not to. She decided to pursue this path. Speaking of the Prince of Lordaeron, he too had choices along the road. Sure enough, there were dark forces manipulating things from behind the scenes. They pushed him on that road of damnation towards picking up Frostmourne and ultimately merging with the Lich King. That road had many turning points, many moments where he could have decided to not let his quest for vengeance all but consume him, listen to advice from his friends, from his father ordering him to return from Northrend, Muradin telling him to leave Frostmourne alone, but Arthas decided not to. It's not just the hands life deals us that defines who we are, but it's also the choices we make along the way, Unless Sylvanas is right, and there is this cosmic game of chess going on that could be revealed in the future. And then, the latest cutscene, they got a whole lot of discussion going.
Sire Denathrius has been taken prisoner. What is our plan to recover him?
Every soul has its purpose. Denathrius has fulfilled his. We must forge our next weapon.
He's not ready.
Then a more direct approach is necessary. We have not come this far, only to falter now. You know what must be done.
There she is again. You know, these endless lectures of yours
Have failed to convince you. Regardless, the conversation is over. One way or another, we will have you. So I will offer this one last time. Join our cause, or be made to serve.
What kind of choice is that? Why even give me? It's the choice you never had. Despite all your grand designs, there's still some shred of your mortality haunting you. As if the Banshee Queen hasn't entirely eclipsed the Ranger General.
Don't.
Now I understand why you brought me here. Why you've tried so hard to persuade me. Because if you can get me to let go of hope, you finally can too.
Enough! Submit! You are only making this harder on yourself.
Not harder on me. Right now, you hold all the power. How will you use it?
I've not come this far to falter now.
Then why do you hesitate? Make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner.
Shalamayne, the legendary blade that passed on from Varian to his son, to be briefly used by Sourfang to give Sylvanas that wound across her eye. It has once again changed color. Now a more necromantic blue infuses the blade, as well as some sexy new runes. The comparison between Sylvanas and the Lich King wielding Frostmourne, they were quickly made. Where the gem comes from, or what exactly it is, that is unknown. I've heard a few people suggest that that might be the soul of Arthas that they're putting into the blade, and anything's possible, right? Until they tell us what the gem is, anything goes. So the soul of Arthas maybe, but I do wonder why. On the other hand, when I watched the cutscene, I just figured it was like a necromantic infusion. Right? Like the jailer's powers placed upon the blade to get rid of the core that was in there. Or potentially like a soul cage, the one that we use to save souls from the Tower of Torghast. If it's gonna be a Morn blade, like Frostmourne, then Shalamayne might have the power to steal souls, similar to how Frostmourne did, and keep it contained within this. It reminds me a lot of the jewelry that we've seen on the Helmet of Damnation, or Frostmourne for example. But for those wondering, like, could this be the soul of Arthas, or what exactly is this? I'm not exactly sure. Time is going to tell. Then for Sylvanas, make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner. Oh, wait, no, forget about it. There are no choices to be made. It is all out of our control, and yet the Banshee Queen hesitates. She has done a lot to claim vengeance upon Arthas. Then she has done a whole lot more to fulfill her plans for Team Jailer. The war in battle for Azeroth, allying with Queen Azshara and N'Zoth, planning to take over Derek Proudmore's mind and send him off to Kaltiris to deal damage from within, with the crowning achievements being the burning of Tel Drasil and the genocide of the Night Elves. There is even more, and as I said, not all of it was pretty and nice. Now after seeing this, a lot of people are discussing if this is going to be the start of Sylvanas' redemption arc, and nobody but Blizzard knows where they're going to take the Dark Lady. But me personally, I don't think redemption is possible after the things that she has done. Can you imagine her just turning around and be like, "What up, Horde? Hi, Forsaken. I'm back now. Sorry for all that death and destruction. That was my bad." I don't think that is on the table anymore. They set out to have her make Garrosh look like an amateur, and they've definitely succeeded. However, that doesn't mean that they can't add more nuance to the story. To me, and all of this is just my opinion, to me this looks like a final choice, a point of no return. She is now the one that controls the power to force upon Anduin that which was once upon a time enforced upon her. Even after all that she has done, there's this last shred of the Ranger General still inside. Similar to how the last shred of humanity inside of Arthas, it held the full tsunami of the Scourge back from wiping us all out. She is not this robotic murder machine, something that we've seen primarily with her relationship towards Nephanos, and yet even that became colder at the end of Shadows Rising. Now she stands at the edge, after all that she's done to get here. Is she ready to completely engulf herself in shadow and let go? Or will she turn back, turn away from the jailer, and let Anduin go? Honestly, both of these options, they're interesting to me. Pushing forward, it means that we get to see Shalamayne in action and have this Death Knight Anduin to confront somewhere in the future. It would look Sylvanas on this path of being a villain that we're gonna take out on the road towards the jailer. But for Anduin, it would be a path of conflict that he would have to overcome. The comparison with Arthas, it is not just done for Sylvanas. Even someone like Anduin, a blonde, light-wielding, weapon-swinging leader that feels the pressure of the crown and the dark forces of the world, he too had the question raised about being an Arthas and what that would mean. Again, we go back to the idea of it's not the road given, but the choices that we make along the way that defines a character. I would love to see a story where Anduin loses himself to the darkness for a bit, to then find strength and be better than an Arthas and a Sylvanas combined, to show them and show the world that choices can be made, although it might not be easy to do. Now turning back, that would mean that Anduin gets to go home, the jailer loses the weapon that he's been molding, and Sylvanas moves over to a different path. Like I said, I don't think redemption is on the table anymore, but that doesn't mean that she can't go out in a blaze of glory. Imagine something along the lines of using those obtained powers and the knowledge of the jailer against him. Show up at this pinnacle moment to turn the tide of battle in exchange for ultimately accepting her fate. That doesn't exactly make it right, all the things that she's done, but it also doesn't keep her on the same side as the jailer. As I'm typing this out, the question rises, why not both? So the cutscene, it leaves us all soap opera style with make your choice, Sylvanas. She now hesitates, and then imagine the jailer walks in. He rips away that choice and that option away. He is the one that converts Anduin to their side, putting Shalamayne to use and opening her eyes to what the little lion has been trying to tell her. Look at who you joined. This is the man responsible for the story of the Lich King to begin with. This is the guy that you allied yourself with. And let's not forget that in the cutscene, they also mention Sire Denethrius. Sylvanas is of the mindset of, okay, what are we gonna do to save the Sire now that he's imprisoned? And the jailer's like, nah, he fulfilled his role, let him do his thing, we don't care about it now. That could definitely be a thing to open our eyes towards, oh, is this what the jailer's all about? I thought that we were all Team Jailer, we were gonna bring down this machine together. Oh, we're just going to sacrifice these people on our team? And what about Nephanos? Like, Nephanos was killed at the start of the Shadowlands, in the Shadowlands pre-event, and so far he hasn't shown up yet. What if it's a situation in which Sylvanas asks the jailer, like, hey, Nephanos, he's been slain, he should be in the mall right now, can we go and pick him up? And the jailer's like, nah, each soul has their purpose and he fulfilled his. These could all be little things that push Sylvanas away from the jailer. I find it really cool how many options and possibilities actually come out of these cutscenes. I've mentioned a couple of times now, but not knowing their full motivations, not knowing the full history of the jailer or the conversations that he's been having with Sylvanas, it's just great to imagine where the story might go. There are a whole lot of paths that they could walk on. And by all means, what do you think of the cutscenes, everybody? What are you hoping to see? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!